Hey, welcome back to Fox 5's On the Hill Live this Sunday morning. Here's a question for you. Is America going through a cultural transformation? One local conservative author says there is a concerted effort, in his view, to upend what he calls American traditional values. Mike Gonzalez is a senior fellow at the Heritage Foundation. Just released his fourth book. That's it. It's called Next Gen Marxism. What is it? How to combat it. Mike Gonzalez, good to see you again. Welcome back to the program. So what is it? What is Next Gen Marxism? Because I think when people hear Marxism, it triggers some very specific references in their minds.
Right. So what my co-author, Katie Gorka, and I, we set out to answer the question you just, discussed. Well, why have all these deep changes? We've seen some really rapid, deep changes in our norms in the last 5 to 10 years. And our answer was that what's animating all this cultural mayhem is a form of Marxism that is different from the original Marxism, but it's American.
Explain what that is, though, because, history class was a long time ago.
Right, so that's the thing. Yeah. I don't want to get too much bogged down into the history, but Marx's idea was very economic. The material forces of production were going to dictate the terms of revolution. Cultural Marxists came along in the mid-20th century and said cultural beliefs are important. American Marxists have added race, and they said race is also a material force. I'm quoting Eric Mann directly.
So is this a uniformity of thought that you're talking about?
I think yes, because it retains some ideas that are quintessentially Marxist. For example, boiling all of human interaction to an epic struggle between the oppressed and the oppressor. So and that is very Marxist. That dominates our thinking right now.
So we don't have to look far to see where these struggles are kind of flaring up. Just look at your local school board meetings lately. They've become kind of a cultural battlefield in some parts, whether it be, Loudoun County where they had concerns, or Montgomery County over what school books could be there. Why have these places become flashpoints?
Well, in the case of the schools, the schools of ed are the textbook most often used in schools of education and universities is Paulo Freire's Pedagogy of the Oppressed, which is a Marxist textbook. He was a Maoist, and that's the book that's used the most in schools of education, like Teachers College at Columbia University. But you can see it in the reaction to the Hamas raid in Israel, that terrorist attack, in the way the students have reacted to that. They have placed that event in the box of the oppressed versus the oppressor. Many students are backing the actual terrorists, and they're ignoring their victims because they have said they have put the Palestinians in the box of the oppressed, they have put the Israelis in the box of the oppressor, and that's why you have this aberrant behavior of students supporting terrorists in the streets. And that's an example of how it enters our lives.
When some people will look at it, they'll say, well, the idea of talking about and representing two different groups of people is a way of objective thought that students should be brought to at least kind of wrap their minds around all the universe of an issue. Is that in play here, or is something else happening?
Well, life is a lot more complicated than putting everything into the oppressed versus the oppressor paradigm. Life is just much more complicated than that. We get bad outcomes when we do that. And that is but one result of that. You mentioned another one, what we're seeing in the schools, parents wanting to say, I don't want this to be taught to my children. Why are you showing this in libraries? And then, the other side saying, well, what you want is book banning. It's not book banning. I mean, Penthouse is not allowed in libraries. Elementary school libraries. That doesn't mean Penthouse is banned.
Is because the parents have been removed from that conversation, whether or not the parent has a say in that or not?
Completely. And in fact, the teachers' unions very much want to, they're suing a parent now for asking, what is in my son's curriculum?
One difficulty for parents these days has been social media. It is pouring thoughts and ideas and opinions into kids that the parents really are generally unaware of what a lot of their kids are looking and viewing and ingesting as fact or fiction. How does that factor into what's been going on?
Social media is one of the elements that makes what we call Next Gen Marxism, and that is because it is used to coordinate demonstrations in the streets, for example. In 2020, Black Lives Matter sent out, I think, over 120 million emails to coordinate the 12,000 protests, the over 600 riots that we had in our streets in 2020.
The new book is Next Gen Marxism from Mike Gonzalez, a senior fellow at the Heritage Foundation. Appreciate you coming in and sharing your thoughts with us.
Thanks for having me on, Tom.
All right.